Did you know Queen Nzinga, one of Africa's greatest rulers, kept a harem of men? This was a radical reversal of tradition. In her court, dozens of young men served her, dressed in women's clothing and called her male wives. Unlike kings with many wives, Nzinga had many husbands, her way of showing she was in charge. This wasn't just personal preference, it was a calculated political move. By having her consorts dress as women, she stripped them of masculine power, ensuring no man could challenge her authority. Her harem was a visible reminder. Nzinga alone held ultimate power. These men were also her bodyguards, trained warriors fiercely loyal to her. When she went into battle, they formed an elite unit at her side, adding to her mystique. Enemies saw a queen protected by men who lived only to serve her, reinforcing her image as both divinely protected and militarily formidable. Nzinga broke traditions and used powerful symbols to her advantage. Her harem sent a clear message: she was bound by no one's rules but her own. She was a revolutionary leader using every tool, social, political, and military, to secure her throne. This surprising fact is just the beginning of Nzinga's remarkable story. Her rule challenged every expectation of what a queen could be. Nzinga's court was a stage for her power, and she played the role to perfection. Nzinga was born in 1583 in the kingdom of Ndongo, in present-day Angola. She wasn't born to be queen. Her brother, Ngola Mbande, was the heir. From a young age, Nzinga showed intelligence and willpower, learning military tactics and diplomacy from her father. The Portuguese threatened Ndongo, seeking land and enslaved people for their colonies. Nzinga witnessed the devastation of the slave trade firsthand, fueling her resolve to protect her people. When her father died, her brother's rule proved disastrous, paranoid, cruel, and weak against the Portuguese. Fearing Nzinga's popularity, he murdered her young son to eliminate any threat to his throne. Instead of breaking her, this tragedy fueled Nzinga's determination to one day seize power. As the Portuguese advanced and her brother's armies failed, he reluctantly sent Nzinga to negotiate peace in Luanda. This was her first step onto the political stage, not just a princess, but the representative of her kingdom. Nzinga's mission would determine the fate of her people. She was no longer in the shadows. She was now a key player in her nation's survival. Her journey to becoming queen had begun. The stakes were high, and Nzinga was ready to meet them. Her intelligence and resolve set her apart from the start. The world would soon know her name. After negotiating in Luanda, Nzinga returned to a kingdom in crisis. Her brother's reign collapsed, and he died under mysterious circumstances, leaving a power vacuum. Nzinga seized the moment and declared herself Queen of Ndongo. The throne was traditionally held by men, and many nobles opposed her. Nzinga had to prove she was more capable than any rival. She used her intelligence, military training, and diplomatic success to consolidate power. Taking on the title Ngola, she led armies, presided over ceremonies, and ruled as an absolute monarch. By adopting a male title, she signaled that gender would not define her reign. The Portuguese refused to recognize her, and rival kingdoms sought to exploit the chaos. Nzinga's people were divided, but she was relentless. She united her kingdom and prepared for war, accepting the immense burden of leadership. Her reign would be defined by conflict and survival. Nzinga was ready to lead her people through decades of struggle. The princess had become a queen, and her epic battle was just beginning. She would not back down, no matter the odds. Her determination would shape the fate of her kingdom. Nzinga's rule was a turning point in African history. Queen Nzinga understood the power of image. She wore golden armor in battle, not for protection but to inspire. Gleaming like the sun, she became a living symbol of hope and strength for her soldiers. Her enemies saw a queen who led from the front, shining and seemingly invincible. The golden armor was a psychological weapon, intimidating foes and rallying her troops. Gold, the metal of kings, reinforced her right to rule and her divine favor. Nzinga's armor declared her legitimacy as a female ruler. She fought in the thick of battle, her courage as real as the gold she wore. Wars, she knew, were won with morale as much as weapons. Her soldiers fought harder for a queen who looked like a deity. The golden armor transformed Nzinga into the Golden Warrior Queen, an icon of resistance. Her use of symbolism was as brilliant as her tactics. Nzinga's legend grew with every battle she fought. She became a living myth, inspiring generations to come. Nzinga's war to reclaim her kingdom was legendary. Forced to flee by the Portuguese, she built a new base in the eastern lands. Mastering guerrilla warfare, she used surprise attacks and ambushes to outmaneuver her enemies. Her warriors disrupted Portuguese supply lines and freed captives, turning former slaves into loyal soldiers. Nzinga made a bold alliance with the Imbangala, fierce mercenaries once allied with the Portuguese. She even underwent their initiation rites, gaining their loyalty and creating a formidable army. For years Nzinga led a mobile kingdom, refusing to surrender her claim to Ndongo. Her persistence wore down the Portuguese, who expected an easy victory. Nzinga's relentless pressure turned the tide of war. She was always on the move, always fighting back. Her gambit was working. The Portuguese found themselves locked in a war they couldn't win. Nzinga's leadership transformed her people's resistance. She proved that determination and strategy could defy even the most powerful enemies. One of Nzinga's most famous moments came during her first diplomatic mission to Luanda. The Portuguese governor offered her only a mat on the floor, a deliberate insult. Nzinga didn't flinch. She signaled to an attendant who knelt to form a human chair. Nzinga sat at eye level with the governor, turning humiliation into a display of power. The Portuguese were stunned. She had flipped the script. Her people's loyalty was absolute. They would literally become her throne. Nzinga demanded respect and got it. This act became legendary, capturing her quick thinking and pride. She showed she would not be intimidated or diminished. Nzinga's mastery of political theater set her apart from the start. She was a leader who commanded respect on her own terms. Nzinga's genius extended beyond the battlefield. She played her enemies against each other, forging a military alliance with the Dutch against the Portuguese. With Dutch support, she recaptured parts of Ndongo and coordinated attacks on Portuguese ports. Nzinga was a player on the world stage, using European rivalries to her advantage. When alliances no longer served her, she moved on, always prioritizing her people's survival. She was a master negotiator, charming or unyielding as needed. Nzinga even converted to Christianity, using her new faith as a diplomatic tool. She never let religion compromise her goals. It was another weapon in her arsenal. Her ability to switch between warrior and diplomat kept her enemies off balance. The Portuguese never knew which Nzinga they would face. This unpredictability was key to her long resistance. Nzinga's versatility made her a legend in both war and diplomacy. After decades of war, Nzinga made a strategic shift. She conquered Matamba, a kingdom with a tradition of female rulers and strong defenses. Merging Ndongo refugees with Matamba's people, she created a powerful new state. Matamba became a haven for those fleeing Portuguese rule and the slave trade. Its inland location made it easier to defend and control trade routes. Nzinga stabilized her rule, built a prosperous kingdom, and established a council of advisors. She negotiated a peace treaty in 1656, finally recognized as queen by the Portuguese. After 40 years of struggle, Nzinga secured her people's independence. She ruled until her death at 80, leaving a stable kingdom and a clear line of succession. Her sister Barbara succeeded her, continuing the female line of leadership. Nzinga's legacy was a nation forged from resistance and unity. She turned adversity into enduring strength. Queen Nzinga's legacy is immense. In Angola, she's the mother of the nation, a symbol of courage and resistance. Her story is central to Angolan identity, inspiring pride and unity. Across Africa and the diaspora, Nzinga is an icon of black resistance and female empowerment. She shattered gender norms, proving a woman could be a master strategist and ruler. Her kingdom outlasted many others, resisting colonial pressure for centuries. Nzinga's strategies created a strong, independent state. Her life is a testament to the power of resistance and leadership. She wore golden armor, sat on a human throne, and outwitted empires. Nzinga's courage changed history, and her legend endures. Subscribe for more epic tales from history.